fortress of path to God has four walls. One is hunger. Another is wakefulness. Another is silence and another is seclusion. Hunger closes the way of Satan. Sleeping little illuminates the heart. Silence keeps the heart from the distraction of talk, and seclusion turns away the darkness of people from him and closes the way to the eyes and ears. Saul Tustari, may God have mercy upon him, says, the saints who have become saints became so by seclusion, hunger, silence, and wakefulness. The way of the world is opposite to the way of the hereafter. The world and the hereafter are like the east and the west. To whichever you draw closer, you go farther away from the other. Know that the reason for someone's not reaching God is that he has not traveled the path. The reason for someone's not traveling the path is that he has not sought it. The reason for someone's not seeking it is that he did not know, and his belief was incomplete. Indeed, the desire for the quest for the provisions of the hereafter appears in whoever knows that the world causes misery and is but of a few days in duration, while the hereafter is pure and everlasting. When one has arisen out of the path of preoccupation with this world, one starts to travel on the path. The beginning of the path is that one starts to overcome the obstacles of the path. The obstacles of the path are the blameworthy qualities in the heart. They are the root of the things from which one must flee, such as the greed for wealth and rank, the greed for comfort, haughtiness, hypocrisy, and the like, until the materials of distraction are cut off from within and the heart is empty of them. It may happen that a person be emptied of all of these until he is not polluted by more than one blameworthy quality. Then he must strive to sever that one by the means which the Sheikh approves and considers more suited to him, for these vary with conditions. Now that he has cleared the field, the sowing of seed begins. The seed is the remembrance of God Most High, since he has been emptied of all except him. It is a condition that one first lift the veil between the self and God so as not to be one of those people about whom God Most High says, we have set a barrier before them and a barrier behind them, and have covered them so that they see not. Q 36.9. The veils of path to God are four: wealth, rank or status, following precedent, imitation, and sin, especially seven deadly sins: pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. As for wealth, it is a veil when it engages the heart. The way cannot be traveled except with an unencumbered heart. Wealth must be removed except for that necessary amount which will not preoccupy one. If there is someone who has nothing and another takes care of him, his way will be completed more quickly. As for the veil of rank and pomp, one must arise and flee from them. One must go to some place where one is not known. If one is well known, one will always be engaged with people and with the pleasure of their reception of him. Whosoever's pleasure is derived from people will not reach God. As for following precedent or imitation, it is a veil, because if one believes in someone's school of religious law and hears its words in the way of argument, one gives no place to anything else in his heart. One forgets that one should believe in the significance of, there is no God but God, and that one should seek the fulfillment of that in oneself. The fulfillment of that is that one has no object of worship which he obeys except God Most High. Whoever is overcome by passion, animal soul, that passion is one's object of worship. When this state becomes one's true nature, one must uncover or discover it through greater struggle, not through argument. As for sin, it is the greatest veil. The heart of whoever perseveres in sin is dark. How can God be revealed to him? Especially the consumption of forbidden food, for it annihilates the effect lawful food makes in illuminating the heart. In reality, one must beware of the forbidden morsel and consume only lawful food. Anyone who wishes that the mysteries of religion and the religious law be unveiled to him before he observes and implements the externals of the religious law in dealings is like the person who wishes to read the Arabic commentaries on the Quran before he has learned Arabic. When these veils have been pulled away, the person's similitude is that of the person who has performed the obligatory purification and is prepared to perform the obligatory formal prayer. Now he needs an imam to lead him in performing the prayer. That is spiritual guide, for without a spiritual guide traveling the path will not be direct. The path to God is hidden and mixed with the paths of Satan. The path to God is one, but there are 1,000 paths to the false. How will it be possible to travel that one path without a guide? When one has found his spiritual guide, he must put all of his affairs in the guide's hands and set aside control over himself. He must know that his profit in the spiritual guide's error will be greater than in his own correctness. Whatever he hears from the spiritual guide that he does not understand should remind him of the story of Moses and Keter, peace be upon them both. That story is for the spiritual guide and his disciple, for the sheikhs know things which the mind of the disciple cannot entertain.